What's up you guys, it's Aisling. Welcome back to my channel. I am so happy to be back filming beauty content. I have missed it. It's been a hot minute. Today I have a bit of free time. Noah's with his daddy, so I can sit down and film and have a little chat with you guys about makeup again. In today's video, I wanted to do another trip down memory lane. I was really getting into the swing of doing these videos before the pandemic and then nobody was really wearing makeup, so I was just like not bothered. But now I think everyone's kind of getting back into makeup all over again, and I wanted to test out a foundation that I haven't used in ages. So when I do these like trip down memory lane videos, I want to try a product that I haven't tried in a long time and see do I still love it. Today's foundation in question is the KVD Lock Foundation. I've loved this foundation for possibly 5-6 years, but I have not worn it in a while. I'd say close to a year, and even when I do wear it, I don't really like investigate and look at it all that detailed. I don't be wearing foundation from morning to night, so it's very rare that I get like a full day wear out of this. So I wanted to do like a full in-depth wear test of this foundation. So we're going to see what we think of this foundation today, and having not worn it in so long, I will say that my foundation tastes have changed in the last while. I'm definitely more into like lightweight, natural looking makeup than something like this. This is really high coverage, a little bit thick on the skin, so that's why we're here today to do a wear test. So if you guys want to see a trip down memory lane using the KVD Vegan Beauty Lock Foundation, then just keep on watching. My skin is already prepped. The only thing I have not done is apply a primer, and I'm going to take the Fenty Beauty primer today. This is the Pro Filter primer, so I'm just going to apply that to my entire face. Since I'm more skin focused and like looking fresh and youthful and having makeup be lightweight, I am really kind of concerned that I'm gonna hate this foundation after all this time, because like that, it's not fresh, lightweight or anything of the sort. It's definitely circa 2014, 2015, 2016 when we wore a lot of makeup, when we liked thick cakey foundation, and this was like all the jam. So now I'm kind of concerned. Anyway, I'm going to put a couple of pumps of this on the back of my hand. Actually 2 pumps, which should be more than enough. It's probably even too much because this is, like I said, a little bit of this goes a long way. And I'm going to apply this like I normally would apply foundation, just on a little brush. I'm just going to apply it on my skin like that. I did stop using KVD Vegan Beauty makeup when Kat Von D was behind, but now that she's no longer working with the company or sold her shares in the company, I think everybody's gone back to loving and using it, especially the Good Apple foundation, which went viral on TikTok. I'm just going to blend that all into my skin. The one thing I will say about this foundation is it does give a huge amount of coverage. Like I said, I'm more used to like beauty balms and lightweight foundations, and this just looks like a lot of coverage. This can easily go cakey. I'm actually glad I didn't use the full 2 pumps, because I think that is more than enough on my skin. Before I get into the full-on wear test of this, I am going to talk a little bit about the foundation. I'm in shade number 54 medium neutral. I've always used this shade from the beginning of time. I've used this shade. I use it in the Good Apple foundation, and I use it in the True Portrait. The True Portrait is actually my favorite KVD foundation at the moment. It's just really lightweight. It's almost like water, and I highly recommend you guys trying it if you haven't and you like lightweight foundations. I just took it out of my foundation bag just so I could show you it. It looks like that. It comes in that sort of packaging. I did a full wear test on this. If you want to see, I'll link it down below. Let's read some of the claims of this foundation. You can buy this foundation off Feel Unique, which is actually I think where I purchased it from. It's a 30ml bottle and it retails for €33, which is pretty standard for a high-end foundation. It's full coverage liquid foundation that delivers extreme perfection all day long wear with just a drop. Make sure skin is well hydrated before applying this foundation for best results. Prep with Lock It Hydrating Primer. That is one thing I will note. I have oily skin and I absolutely adore this foundation for that reason. It keeps my oils at bay throughout the day, and that is kind of one of the major reasons I wore this back in the day, and one of the major reasons why I would probably use it now if I could get it to look kind of lightweight. But I used the minimal amount, like, well, I could have used 1 pump. I used, I'd say, 1.5 pumps to do my whole face, and you can kind of see the coverage that I'm getting from it. It is pretty extreme. The major claims is that it's a transfer resistant, so it's 100% vegan and cruelty free. It doesn't say anything more about it, like who it's tailored to, oily, combo, dry skin, but I would say myself personally, it's more suited to oily skin. I do find that it is quite flat and matte on the skin. There is not that much dewiness to it. It is 9 a.m. right now, so I am going to wear this for the entirety of the day. I'll try and wear this for roughly around 12 hours. So right now, looking at it off the bat, I think it's fine. It is slightly heavy on my skin. It's not something I'm used to as of late, but I don't dislike it, and if it lasts all day, great. This was one of my favorite clubbing foundations, I will say that as well, and I'm not hitting clubs anytime soon, especially since COVID is still a thing here in Ireland and we barely even have restaurants open. I'm gonna lovies and leavies right now. I'll come back when I have my full face done and I'll just talk about how products went on top. Okay, so I just finished my makeup. I feel like everything sat on top of this really nice. I feel like I'm wearing a lot of makeup today. Your base makeup plays a huge role in the type of makeup look you actually end up with, because the eye makeup and lips and the cheek product that I'm using today are all products that I would use with like a BB cream, and they don't look this put together. Like I'm wearing an awful lot of makeup today. Well, I feel like I do. Maybe you guys see something different. Go through what I'm actually wearing. I am wearing the KVD Vegan Beauty Peony Blush, which is absolutely gorgeous. I feel like these like bright pink blushes are making a huge comeback. The Man Eater palette from Too Faced. I just used Purr through my crease, Saucy kind of on the outer corner here, and then Midnight just to create like a smoky wing. And then I used Passion just to kind of blend on the lid. The bronzer I'm using is the Too Faced Chocolate Soleil bronzer. The lashes are from Pennies. They're the Luxe lashes. And then I'm using Whirl lip liner and the shade Honey Love. I just dabbed that on my lips. And that's kind of everything on my face. I feel like this foundation on my skin is actually not very heavy at all. I do feel like I am wearing a little bit more foundation, and I definitely feel throughout the day it might get a little bit thicker or heavier feeling on my skin, but it doesn't feel heavy right now. I actually like the appearance of it in the mirror. I don't know what it looks like on camera because I obviously can't see because I'm just filming it now and my viewfinder is too far away from my blind self to be able to see that. But I do really like the look of the foundation. It is just a little bit heavier, like I said. It has covered up any sort of imperfections and blemish. I have a lot of freckles around here. It's kind of covered them. It has unified my skin. But just like I said already a few times, this is thicker, more full coverage, nighttime wearing foundation. I always think it's quite important to see what the foundation looks like up close. I don't know how much of it you're going to be able to see. Like, it looks perfect on my skin. There is no seeping into fine lines or anything like that. There's nothing. It is so perfect. I do like the finish of it. It's made my skin look flawless. Like, there's literally not one imperfection on my skin. So we'll just see how it wears throughout the day. So guys, I will talk to you in a few more hours. Hi guys, so I'm back from my first update of the day. It has been 4 hours since I applied this foundation. It is just after 1 o'clock. I thought that I would do a check-in now because like 4 hours is a good amount of time to kind of see where we're at. I was wearing a mask because I was going around the supermarket. It doesn't seem to have rubbed too much off around my nose area, which tends to be obviously a problem with the mask. I am looking quite oily. Now it is very humid today. I'm looking quite oily on my chin and around my mouth, but maybe I didn't set enough because I wasn't using my normal setting powder. I just picked up any old setting powder, and normally I would use the Lacura one, the one from Aldi, and I just didn't use that one today. I just used, I don't know, I think a one from Deals. I am looking just a little bit oily on my chin and just around my nose and then in between my brows. But in general, I think this foundation looks pretty decent. It doesn't look heavy or thick on my skin now. I think since my natural oils have come through, and because I didn't apply that much, although you may think it was an awful lot, I feel like the more of this foundation you put on, the cakeier it's gonna look. But I actually really like the appearance of it. Like, I still think I would reach for this foundation just how it looks now, and I probably will be using it in the future, especially if like full coverage foundations come back, or if I want something that's gonna look really full coverage on my face if I'm having a bad face day, or if I change my preferences towards foundations. But I still really like it 4 hours in. I have the teeny bit of oiliness, but I will blot. In general, there's no rubbing. I'm very, very, very impressed with how it held up over my nose, especially wearing a mask. Happy out at this stage of the day, 4 hours in. I'm gonna go and make myself something to eat now for lunch, and then I will come back to you guys in a little bit and we'll see how we're getting on. Just after 5, I thought I would check in for an 8-hour update just to see how this foundation is looking. I still think it looks great on my skin. 8 hours for me is always a telltale sign of how well a foundation is holding up. If it lasted the 8 hours, we're doing well. It's still like liking it. It's not sinking into any fine lines. I am noticing just a little bit of wearing over my nose where my mask was sitting, so obviously it kind of like took off a bit of the foundation, and maybe throughout the day I've like touched it or something. It's sinking in slightly to one of my fine lines here, which I'll show you in a close-up. A little bit of wearing off here, but in general it's stayed intact on my skin. It's still covering up everything. It still looks as good as it did when I put it on, and I'm actually really happy with the appearance of this on my skin. And like I said, 8 hours is kind of what most standard foundations last to. I know it might say like 12-hour wearing foundation, 24-hour wearing foundation, 16-hour wearing, whatever, but in my experience, most foundations, telltale sign of how they're holding up is once you get to the 8-hour mark, is it like coming off your face or is it still intact? This is still intact, which is fantastic. So far, I am still liking this as much as I did way back when I first tried it. I think it is exactly what you want from a full coverage foundation. Close, you can kind of see like just the wearing off around my nose where my glasses were, and maybe just a bit of fading here. But all in all, I think it's pretty good. It's intact. There's no seeping into fine lines, just a little bit here around my mouth. If I want to wear full coverage long wearing foundation, I will more than likely pick this one up. What are you guys thinking of the wear of it after 8 hours? So far, loving it. Very happy. Hey guys, it's just gone 8:59. It is my last update of the night, and this foundation has been on for 12 hours. Sorry, I should take my glasses off. At this point, or the stage of the day, I am definitely feeling a little bit greasy on my skin, but it's been 12 hours since this foundation was applied. Just cannot believe how great it looks on my skin at this time of the day. I just feel like it looks really good. I just had a quick look at it in the mirror as I was coming up here and just do a little bit more of an up close. Like, it looks so good for being on 12 hours. Really good. There's still the same amount of wearing around my nose. It hasn't worn anymore. It hasn't worn off anywhere except for possibly a little bit on my chin, but nothing kind of extreme. I often think that when my natural oils come through with a foundation, that the foundation sometimes looks a little bit better. Like, not too many oils because that just looks greasy. You can see the foundation on my skin, just kind of like the little bit of wearing on my chin that I was talking about earlier. There's been no further seepage around my mouth or anything like that, and the same in between my brows. It's kind of like remained. I'm so happy with the longevity of it. Like, it has lasted all day and it still looks pretty decent on my skin. Like, a bit of powder would revive this foundation. And I still do really like this foundation. I do remember when this was all the rage, and I completely understand why. I will say though that between this foundation and my True Portrait, which is here, these are the best foundations from KVD Vegan Beauty. I absolutely love them. I don't really like the Good Apple foundation. I've had it for a long time now and I've been trying it on and off. I first purchased it just towards the end of my pregnancy, and do you know what? It's okay, but it would not be as good a quality as both of these foundations in my opinion. So if you want like a more lightweight liquidy foundation, I go with this one. It's really fresh. And then if you want something a little bit more heavy duty, long lasting, this is definitely your guy. And I'm so glad I did today's wear test because I really enjoy it. So I hope you guys enjoyed today's video. Also, please let me know what other foundations you would like me to go down memory lane on, or what other products maybe that I haven't used in years and you would like to see again. Do I still like them? I think foundations are the best one because your preferences change a lot for foundations. Like, sometimes you want really lightweight, sometimes dewy foundations are in, sometimes matte foundations are in, sometimes it's more skin focused. So it changes, and your taste for foundation definitely changes, but I still really love this. And like I said, if I wanted something full coverage, it would be something I'd be reaching for. Thank you for watching today's video, and I would love to take your suggestions on old foundations to try or new foundations, or what other foundations would you like me to test out on my channel, and I will purchase them and give them a go. Thanks again for tuning in, and I will talk to you all in my next video. Mwah. Bye guys.